Hi guys, welcome along. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the Amsterdam Marathon, what I thought about the race itself, the lessons I've learnt, and what am I going to do to implement those lessons into my training going forward, especially with my next big event being the Boston Marathon. But before all that, here's a bit of video. This is the behind the scenes video for my trip to Amsterdam. Just a minute or so, enjoy this. Here we are, we managed to get to Amsterdam Marathon this Sunday. Morning, it's Saturday, the day before the Amsterdam Marathon, just leaving the hotel. Supposed to get up early this morning and go for a city run, but decided the lie-in would be more beneficial. So we just stayed in bed longer, which was great. Really needed that, sometimes you just need that rest. So now we're just leaving the hotel, walking towards the bus station, and go and get that bus into the city centre, go to the expo first to pick up the number and what have you, and then we'll go into the city and see the delights of Amsterdam, see what we can see. So exciting day. It's the sightseeing day. Not going to do too much, but I don't want to kill myself for tomorrow, but yeah, we'll see how it all goes. So, yeah, welcome to Amsterdam.
Have others do answer.
So Amsterdam, what can I say? Basically, what a great weekend. Absolutely fantastic time in Amsterdam. Beautiful city. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And as for the marathon itself, great organised race. And a lovely route, especially down the River Amstel. I know in the video I said canal. It's actually the River Amstel. Absolutely gorgeous down there. So the race is brilliant. If you don't get into the Berlin Ballot, if you don't get through the Berlin Ballot, then I think Amsterdam should be your introduction to big city international running. It's fantastic. 18,000 runners, and the entry fee is relatively cheap. I think for 2023 we're talking €95, so about £90, so it's not a bad entry fee. So I suggest you seriously consider doing it if you are looking to do a marathon abroad. Now the race itself was well organised. Not as busy as Berlin, not as busy as London, but it's still very well organised. The expo to pick up your number was quite straightforward. Even on the Saturday when I went to the expo to get my number, it was busy, but it wasn't too busy. It wasn't too overbearing. And they had a little expo, nothing massive, but the likes of Hoka Oni were there, and Garmin, Morton Gels were there. You know, all the usual suspects were there. So it was actually quite a good event where you could actually get to the stalls without the madding crowds around you. So yeah, the expo was good. Now the race itself on race morning, I took a bag to the bag drop. I did think it was going to be a free-for-all, just put your bag down and hope it's there when you come back. But when I went and handed it over, they actually stuck a number on my bag and gave me the tear-off bit with the corresponding number. I stuck it on my bib actually, and then that's what I used to get my bag back at the end. So it was organised well in that respect. So that was better than I thought it was going to be. Getting you into the start was fantastic. Got you penned in. Obviously it's different waves, so the elites start, and then I think it was about 10 minutes after them that I started. And the race itself felt great when we started. And I think what happened, because later on in the run I noticed there was a lot of people walking, and unfortunately there was quite a few people at the side of the road getting medical attention as well towards the end. So what I think happened was, it was overcast when we started, so I think everyone just, with the euphoria of the race, the euphoria of the start, that everyone just went out too fast. And as you know, with a marathon, you can't bank your time and save it for the end. If you go out too fast, you just trail off at the end and end up walking, and just, so yeah, I think people started too fast. I know I didn't think I started too fast. I thought my pace was spot on, but as Kelly Rook said in her video, she was humbled by the marathon, and I think that's the same for me. I think I was humbled by it. It got to me at the end. So yeah, you really need to work on that mindset of not going too fast at the beginning and saving yourself and pacing yourself to do the full 26. It's all right saying, yeah, the half was brilliant, half marathon was fast, but if it takes you twice as long to do the second half, it's not been worth it, has it? So yeah, that's one of the things I need to work on, holding myself back at the start and not getting too carried away with the event. So that was the main thing. On the streets, as I said in the video, there were aspects of it where it was congested, crowded, and some narrow roads, but overall brilliantly marshalled. The crowds in Amsterdam, whilst they're not as big as Berlin, whilst they're not as big as London, the energy and the enthusiasm and the support from the local crowds was fantastic. Having your name shouted by complete strangers really does give you a lift, and especially towards the end when I'm walking and it's "Go Anthony!" and that's it, my arms in the air, fist in the air, and it really does pick you up and you can get going again. So to everybody in Amsterdam who supported, whether they were there for a specific runner or they were just going there to support the event, thank you very much. You were brilliant. As I say, the course itself was good, apart from that one bit. I think it's about 16, 17, 18 miles where you go through that out of town shopping complex district, where the crowds were a lot lighter and there was no shade, and by the time we got halfway the sun was out. Whilst it wasn't hot, you're in that direct sunlight with no shade, so you're just getting warmer and warmer and warmer, and that was my downfall. I just got too hot. Taking on plenty of liquid at the water stations, isotonic and water, also using the sponge on my head and down my back, but I still was getting too hot, and that was my downfall. I need to work on that. I need to work on what I need to do to try and keep a bit cooler. As I say, there was no shade on that part of the run, and yeah, I paid the price for that. You'll also hear a lot of people say Amsterdam is flat. I'm going to say, yeah, it's a flattish race. It's flatter than a lot of others. But the thing to bear in mind is there's a lot of canals and you are up and over bridges, so there is a few little rises and a few little go downs as you're going up and over these bridges. But be warned, I think it's about 23 miles in, just as you're coming back into the city centre, they throw in a cheeky underpass and bridge combination. So you go down, you come up, level off, up and over again. So yeah, it's about 23 miles, so when you're at your worst, when you're at your tiredest moment, you've got that cheeky underpass and bridge combination. So if you are going to run this race, beware of that. So overall, a great day. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got some things to work on, as I say. I've got to work on trying to keep the temperature down, try to keep it a little bit cooler. I don't know what to do about that at the moment, but we'll work on it. And the thing it reminded me again is to need to do more hill work, especially with Boston coming up. We all know about Heartbreak Hill at mile 20, but that's only one part of it. Heartbreak Hill is a rolling 3-hill complex, so between now and April 17th I need to get a lot of hill work in and build up the strength and stamina in those legs, so when we're hitting those hills at the end of a marathon we've still got enough to get up and over. So I think that's the main carry forward for me. So all in all, Amsterdam, love you. Brilliant time. Thank you very much indeed for putting on a great race. Thank you for all the hospitality. Beautiful city. Go and check it out if you can. If you've not watched the race vlog, I shall put a link up on the screen now for you to go and follow. Right, don't forget to subscribe, turn on your bell notifications and give this video a thumbs up. And all that's left for me to say is Boston Marathon is next and the training starts now.